Cool.
You guys should be proud of me. It's Monday and we haven't done this in a week or whatever, how long it's been. It feels like a week.
You want
And I remember to hit record. No, it's okay.
Okay.
So for those, yeah, never mind. All right. Can you guys tell I've been up since 4 o'clock preparing for this call? And it's amazing that I could be up since 4 o'clock preparing for this call and still be late to the call, right? It just tells you, it's a good thing, by the way. It really is. All right. So I'm going to do what I always do, which is get into my journal and look at my notes. And we're going to pick up.
Did you do the Facebook Live?
I didn't, Carolyn, and it takes too much time to do that once I get started. So I don't want to make you guys sit here. All right, I'll tell you what, let's do it. Victoria, would you lead the conversation? Keep sharing great stuff, guys, why I do this, because I'm not going to be able to see you while I do this.
Okay, yeah. So tell us something good.
There you go, girl.
I have one thing to say.
Yes, Ryan. Thank you.
It's not much, but like my finals are like 3 weeks long. Last week, this week, and next week, and like I haven't slept, so like that means I haven't had time to make a lot of my phone calls. But like there was one thing that came up on comment that told me you need to call that person. So like when I reached out to her, she said, "Oh yeah, call me at the end of the month," which is tomorrow or Wednesday, because she's ready to list with an agent, and I've been following up with her for like maybe 2 months. So that's great. Like even though I took some time off to get ready for my finals, because I kept following up with her, I'm expecting for the best.
Good stuff, Ryan. Victoria, I'm back.
Okay.
Jump in there. Go for it.
I want to give a shout out to Ryan. Ryan, all that you are doing, you're burning the candle at not both ends, studying for your finals, doing real estate and all that other stuff. I give you so much credit. Way to go.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm super proud of you. I really am. And your future is so bright, it burns my eyes, right? And dude, when I think of you and I think of where you could be 10 years from now, let me take that back. Let me say that a different way. Where you will be in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and 30 years from now, it's exciting. My only hope is I'm still here to see the journey.
You will.
All right, well, right now, I mean, I'm 58 years old. I can't imagine being 88, but okay, I'll take it. So I'm on page 30 of the 12-week year, and I just want to share a couple thoughts with you before we jump into the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And we're going to finish with a 12-week 135 or a 12-week GPS. By the way, just out of curiosity, anybody but Victoria, tell me what GPS stands for. Not the one in your car, no, but the one
Goals,
we learned.
priorities, and strategies.
There you go.
Woo, Camille.
On the first take, she got it. Love it. All right, so just a couple thoughts from the 12-week year. It's not enough to have the intention of changing. You have to act on the intention for things to get better. I intend to blank. So let me ask you a question. What if I were to say, now again, Monica's in the other room, she can hear me and she's going to go, what are you talking about? If I were to say, I can't believe the way Monica is treating me. Now this is a made up story. Monica's treating me amazing, guys. If I were to say, yeah, she's laughing. I knew she would. If I were to say, I can't believe the way Monica's treating me. I mean, after all, everything I intended to do for her, and she's treating me blank. What's wrong with that statement?
You just intended to do things for her.
There you go, Valerie. I actually didn't do a thing. That's it. Intentions without action are the same things as no intentions to start with. And every single one of us end the year with great intentions. Oh, next year is going to be better. Somehow, magically, because you turn the calendar date and you flip to the next page and you go from December 1st to January 1st, all of a sudden everything's going to be great. It's just another day. It's no difference than the difference between today and tomorrow. Things are not going to be better just because you flip the page on a calendar. Now, things can be better and things will be better when you create a plan and you act on that plan. Give me a moment while I fix the mouse, this mouse. I'm not actually doing mouse surgery here. All right. That was funny and nobody's laughing. Okay, cool. All right. Again, from page 30 on the 12-week year, your current actions are creating your future. If you want to know what your future holds, look at your actions. They are the best predictor of your future. You want to predict your future health? Look at your current eating and exercise habits. You want to predict the health of your marriage? Look at your interactions with your spouse. You want to predict your career path? And future income? Look at the actions you take each business day. Your actions tell the story. So here's what Ralph Waldo Emerson had to say. An ounce of action is worth a ton of theory. So here's my questions for you guys. How do I win the positioning battle? And if this sounds like we've gone over this before, we have. And if you've been on this call before, you know one of the things that I believe in is that repetition is the mother of learning. So are we going to repeat? Absolutely. 100% until everybody gets it. If my goal is to net $100,000, what will my GCI need to be? And you could fill in the blank up, by the way, if your goal is to net $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million, whatever it is. If my GCI goal is blank and my average commission is blank, how many units will I need to close? If my units closed goal is blank, how many listings will I need to take every month? And how many listing appointments will I need in the next 12 weeks? Because we are creating a 12-week GPS, not a 12-month GPS. Now, if my listing appointment goal is blank in the next 12 weeks, how many leads will I need? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab a piece of paper. And I want you to, I'll show you a picture so you can see what it's going to look like. I want you to draw the outline of a 135 or a GPS. So along the top, you're going to have one large rectangular box. Now, in that box, you are going to write your one thing. What is the one thing that I could do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? The One Thing by Gary Keller. So the one thing for the purpose of this conversation is based on netting $100,000. Now, in doing that, the math that I figured for you guys on this call was in order to do that, your gross income, allowing $1,000 a month for expenses, plus your cost of sales, assuming your cost of sales is $23,000 if you're in my market center in Coral Springs, and that's your current cost of sales. Pay attention, guys. Words matter. and that's your current cost of sales, and you have $12,000 in expenses, that means your cost of sales and your expenses are $35,000. So in order to net $100,000, I'm going to have to gross $135,000. Now, if my average commission is $8,000, I'm simply going to take $135,000 and divide it by $8,000 in order to determine how many units I need to close. Now, assuming 50% of my business is sellers and 50% of my business is buyers, then 50% of those units closed is coming from the seller side of the transaction. Assuming that 75% of the listings I take actually go to contract and close, then I'm going to take the total number of listings sold divided by 0.75 to determine how many listings I'm going to need to take in order to hit my goal. Now, assuming that my conversion ratio from a listing appointment to a listing taken is 50%, and I'm using 50% so it applies to everybody on this call. As you practice and role play your scripts, your conversion ratios are going to get better, and that conversion ratio will climb to 75%, 80%, 90%. And eventually you'll get to a point where the only listings you don't take are the ones you don't want. All right, so my goal is 12 seller listings taken in the next 12 weeks, and 24 listing appointments. Now, my 3 priorities come from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, pages 136 through pages 149. Priority number 1, prospect and market. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw another rectangular box underneath the top rectangular box, and you're going to divide that rectangular box into 3 smaller boxes. Those are your 3 priorities. Priority number 1, far left side, prospect and market. Priority number 2, that's the middle box, is build my database. And priority number 3, far right box, systematically market to my database. Now, if you want to know what pages to look at from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent for each of these priorities, prospect and market is pages 136 to 142. Build my database, pages 142 to 145. Systematically market to my database, pages 145 to page 149. Now, underneath each one of those smaller boxes, underneath each of your priorities, you're going to divide the bottom part of the page into 3 columns. And each column, you're going to number 1 through 5. These are your strategies. Strategy number 1 under prospect and market is download daily list. That's it. Simple. Download a daily list of for sale by owners, expireds, homes that you're going to circle prospect to that day. If I can learn how to talk. If you are calling to find future foreclosures, or you are calling to find short sales, who are you going to call that day? Download your list. Strategy number 2, 10 contacts every single day to this group. That's 10 conversations with for sale by owners, expired listings, circle prospecting, or looking for future foreclosures and short sales. By the way, just as a reminder, the script on that is, good morning, this is John Dietz, Keller Williams. Don't say you're John Dietz if you're not, that's weird. This is John Dietz with Keller Williams Realty. The reason for my call is I specialize in helping homeowners avoid foreclosure. And I was curious, who do you know that might be behind on their mortgage payments? That's it. Simple. It's recorded. Go back and listen to it again so you could write it down. All right. So your second strategy is 10 conversations every day to for sale by owners, expireds, circle prospecting, calling future foreclosures and short sales. Strategy number 3, schedule 4 face-to-face appointments weekly for a total of 48 over 12 weeks. By the way, do you have control over that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Who chooses whether or not you hit that standard? Because it's not a goal, it's a strategy, which means it's a standard. When I go out for a 4-mile walk, I don't have a goal of ending up back at my house. I know I'm going to end up back at my house. I don't say, hey, babe, I'm going to go for a walk. Hopefully I come home. So at the beginning of the day, who decides whether or not you schedule an appointment?
I do.
Who controls it?
I do.
Your neighbor doesn't. Your spouse doesn't. The weather doesn't. The president doesn't. COVID doesn't. You do. It's a choice, which means if you're failing, well, let's see how many people are on the call. 64. Holy cow. I'm going to see how many jump off right now, which means if you're failing, you're choosing to fail. 65. Somebody else jumped in. That's cool. All right. Strategy number 4, follow up forever to create emotional proximity. Simple, not easy. I'm never going to list my home. Awesome. Talk to you in 2 weeks. If I ever did list my home, I'm going to list my home with Valerie. Cool. Talk to you in 2 weeks. If I ever listed my home, I'm not paying more than 2%. Cool. Talk to you in 2 weeks. Simple, not easy, because you're going to keep following up, even though that voice inside your head is telling you not to. And that's judging away opportunity. And because you don't judge away opportunity, you're going to keep following up. Strategy number 5, block 1 hour every single day to practice and role play your scripts in order to improve conversion. Simple, not easy. All right, your second priority is to build your database, pages 142 to 145. Your first strategy is I need 160 met contacts in my database in order to get 16 listings from this group. Okay, cool. Now what? Add blank number of contacts daily to start. In other words, if you don't have anybody in command, you're going to start today adding blank number of contacts every single day until you have everybody in there. Build a database. Now, the second part of what Gary teaches in pages 142 to 145 is feed it every day. So once you've built your database, you're going to feed it every day, which simply means you're going to add new contacts, new mets to your database daily. And you're doing this, again, it's not a goal, it's a standard, and they're systematic, so it's gonna happen. Strategy number 3 is I'm going to subtract the total number of contacts that I entered to start from 160. So if my goal is 160 and I have 80 contacts, then my gap is 80. So I'm going to subtract the total number of contacts from 160 in order to determine what the gap is. In other words, how many more contacts do I need? Strategy number 4, add blank number of contacts every day to feed my database in order to get it to the number of contacts that I need. All right, third priority, and yes, by the way, I know I didn't give you a 5th strategy. Third priority is systematically market to my database, pages 145 to pages 149. My first strategy is I need a habit map database of 400 people on a 50-to-1 ratio. In order to take 8 listings from this group. And the reason I'm saying 8 is because I'm creating a plan to take 24 listings based on a third, and a third. In other words, 8 listings from prospecting and marketing, 8 listings from my Met database, 8 listings from my Haven't Met database. So I need 400 on a 50-to-1 ratio. I didn't make it up, it's in this book. I need 400 on an 8-to-1, 50-to-1 ratio in order to take 8 listings. Strategy number 2, use an 8x8 smart plan with all new Mets. That means the moment I enter them into my database as a Met, I'm going to launch an 8-contact smart plan to communicate with them once a week over the next 8 weeks in order to create top of mind. I was waiting to see if somebody said it. Remember, repetition is the mother of learning. I've said that many, many times before, so I know you guys knew the answer to that. Strategy number 3, use a 36-touch smart plan with my sphere of influence. Strategy number 4, this is where my strategy is a little bit different than what you learn in here. Make 8 care call contacts daily. I didn't say make 8 care calls. I said make 8 care call contacts to your sphere of influence daily. I want you to have 8 care call conversations every single day. Now, here's what that's going to do for you. Rather than calling them once every 3 months, you're calling them once every month. It's overkill over time. Now, here's how I'm going to close. I only want you to ask for a referral 1 out of 3 times. I want you to call your sphere of influence once a month. I want you to make care calls, not sale calls. And I only want you to ask 1 out of 3 times. Just out of curiosity, Camille, before I let you go, who do you know that's thinking of selling their house? Now, once every 3 times, which means the past 2 conversations Camille and I had were Ford conversations, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. They were care calls, and I never talked about real estate. Matter of fact, I'm looking for opportunities to give her referrals. If I can give her a referral every time I talk to her, now on the 3rd time, she's gotten 2 referrals from me. By the way, it's 3 now because I'm giving her a referral today as well. So I'm asking for a 3-to-1 return on referrals given. All right, talk to me. By the way, if you followed me, if you took notes, if you watched this video over and over again until you can write out everything that I just said to you, I just gave you a GPS or a 135 in order to take 12 listings in the next 12 weeks.
John?
Yes.
Question. Are you going to be working from this book 12-week year moving forward?
Until we finish it. So based on that, it's going to be at least, I don't know, a month or 2.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Come on, guys, give me some ahas.
When you first started, and you put your goal, you actually put your yearly goal, didn't you?
Well, I created my 12-week plan from my 52-week goal. I have to know what the 52-week goal is first in order to create a 12-week plan. Yes, sir. Well, somebody popped up on my screen and I heard talking. Maybe it wasn't for me.
And it just seems so simple. Once again, when you break it down.
Well, Valerie, it is. Success is simple.
Not easy.
Yes. And this is true with every single thing, by the way. Any goal you have, all you have to do is break it down to a daily activity and focus on the activity, not the results. And success is guaranteed. Here's the problem. When you focus on the results, if you're not getting the results that you want fast enough, what are you going to be tempted to do?
Quit.
Quit. 100%.
Quit.
Quit.
Yep.
That's it. Or settle. In other words, I'm currently at this level of business. John, this sounds like an incredible idea. I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. And 4 weeks later, I'm not seeing the results. Never mind, this doesn't work. I'm going to go back to the level of business that I was at. Good enough. That's called settling.
And from this, you're going to do your 411.
Yeah. Yeah. Camille, you are. And you've already got your goal. That's for the 12 weeks, and your 411 following the same model. Instead of your 1 year goal, it's a goal for 12 weeks. And then your monthly goal still is a monthly goal, but it's based on 4 weeks, right? And then your weekly activities are the same thing as your strategies.
Thank you very much for what you just did this morning.
It is my pleasure. Yeah. All right, let me check the chat, see if I left anything out. At Shirley. Okay, conversation, traveling. Oh, plane, right. They're talking about this, never mind. Okay. All right, we're good. One more aha and I'm out.
We need to make sure we do this like on the GPS sheet and keep it in front of us.
Yeah. Camille, how can you hit a goal you don't see?
Right.
If you were to decide, okay, so Melissa's on the airplane, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so let's pretend for a moment that autopilot doesn't exist. And the plane is flying from here to Los Angeles. I kind of hope the pilot keeps their eyes open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they know where they're going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And I'm not making fun of you, Camille. I'm just, it's amazing how many people don't get that. You know what's worse than trying to hit a goal you can't see is trying to hit a goal you don't have.
Mm.
Do you know most people do that?
Just a reminder about you wanted to have a send a message today before we left.
You're so awesome. All right, so here is the decision moving forward. Starting tomorrow, this call will be at 8:30. I hope that makes most of you happy. If a few of you preferred 8 over 8:30, I'm sorry, it's going to be 8:30. Here's the reason why. Number one, most of the people that I talk to who have children are either driving their kids to school at 8 a.m. or they're homeschooling and getting their kids set up in front of the computer and getting them started on their school day at 8 a.m. And I want to give those agents an opportunity to be on this call. The second reason is because James Shaw moved his call to 8 o'clock, or he's back on with his 8 a.m. call. And I don't want you to have to decide between this call and James' call. I want you to be on both if you choose to. So starting tomorrow, we're at 8:30. I will send an email out so that everybody has a reminder, and same link, like same bat channel, right? It's just not the same bat time. And all of you who are younger than 40 years old are going, holy cow, John has lost it. Yeah.
How do we get onto James Shaw?
Excuse me?
How do we get onto James Shaw?
Go to his Facebook page and you'll see a link to the Zoom.
There you go, there you go, Valerie.
Shift.
Pivot, shift ahead.
Pivot,
There you
shift.
go. There you go. All right. You guys are amazing. It's time to get to work. What's work? Work is 20 conversations, not 18, not 19, not 17. If you settle for 17 conversations because it's close enough, the 18th conversation could have been $1 million listing that you didn't get because you didn't make the call, and you'll never know that you didn't get the listing because you didn't make the call. Don't settle. Make care calls, not sale calls. Bring value to every single conversation. Always lead with gratitude. Focus on getting an appointment every single day. Focus on getting a referral, or adding somebody new to your database. Get face-to-face today with someone who is thinking of buying a home or selling a home. It's a standard. It's not a goal. Get face-to-face today with someone who is thinking of buying a home or selling a home, and then follow up forever to create emotional proximity, because you reject rejection, and no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. No simply means not yet. People will not change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. Stay in contact until they have new information, and then magic happens. Make it a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
My pleasure. My
Have a
pleasure.
great day, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.